Most Americans are not aware, number one, that we're a Middle Eastern religion, Christians are. Number two, that these Christian churches in the Middle East are the most ancient of all churches, that we received our faith from them in the first place. And most Americans are not aware that right now these churches and these communities are struggling to stay alive because of groups like ISIS and the Islamic Brotherhood who are really kind of attacking them and killing them. There was a little girl in Pakistan, a Christian girl, who had suffering a great amount of discrimination because of her faith in Pakistan, and she was shocked when she found out that the United States was a Christian country. She said, well, if they're a Christian country, why aren't they helping us? And again, that's the biggest problem of those facing persecution, discrimination, is that the world doesn't notice and the world doesn't care. Most Americans don't realize as well that more Christians have suffered martyrdom since the Second World War up to the present time than the entire 2,000-year history of the church. And even now, 200 million Christians throughout the world face discrimination and persecution, and most of us are not aware of that. Most Americans forget that around the time of the First World War, 1,500,000 Armenian Christians were murdered horribly by the Ottoman Turks, as well as 500,000 or so Puncheon Greeks and Assyrian Christians were murdered at the same time. An Italian nun who worked in Eritrea and Somalia for years with all Muslim patients, mothers and babies. She worked, she sacrificed, she helped to start nursing programs in Somalia. She was shot in the back by a Muslim extremist, but her last words were, "I forgive, I forgive." And over again, that's what you see on the part of these people, especially these religious women working with the poor. They forgive even if they're being killed. One of the saddest things about what's going on in the Middle East is that shrines, monasteries, and libraries that date back to the time virtually the apostles are being destroyed. When Mosul was being taken over by ISIS, the monks in the monastery outside of Mosul gave children ancient parchments and scrolls to carry outside of the city to keep them from being destroyed by ISIS, and thus keep part of their patrimony and our patrimony safe. 4 missionaries of charity, Mother Teresa's nuns, were killed in Aden, and they had been running a rest home and a nursing home for patients, again, all who were members of the community, and they were murdered. But the nuns have gone back to the same home because they will not be put off by the persecution because they love the people and want to serve the people. Archbishop Raho, who was Archbishop of Mosul, who was loved by both Muslims and Christians and respected by most Muslims and Christians. When they blew up his house, the Muslim imam allowed him to come and live in the mosque. But he also was outspoken about the discrimination extended to Christians. He was eventually kidnapped by ISIS, put in the trunk of a car, and died of a heart attack. One of the heroic stories from this part of the world is people like Dr. Martha Myers, who was a Baptist missionary doctor in Yemen, who was murdered, even though she'd been helping these people for years. And these ladies, these doctors, these nuns bring hope and the possibility of reconciliation. Egypt has suffered terribly. In one particular place on Palm Sunday, they blew up inside the church and killed priests, people, men, women, and children. Then after the ceremony, after the Mass, after the disaster, the congregation circled the church and sang the Nicene Creed in honor of the faith of their fathers that they had died for. It hits home to me because, first of all, I am a Christian. I am a priest. My faith in Jesus Christ is the most important thing in my life. And I'm seeing men, women, and children who lose their businesses, lose their homes, lose their country, and often lose their lives, even innocent lives, because they won't give up Jesus Christ. How can I sit by and watch them suffer like this and not do something to give them some help and hope? In the name of our Lord Jesus Christ, who these people have given everything, even their lives for, I beg you to help us. You can give money, you can pray for them, or you can share the story of what's going on in the Middle East right now, so that these people will not go unnoticed and unrewarded for their faith, their conviction, their courage, and their incredible mercy and forgiveness in the face of suffering. To learn how you can help, please visit these websites.